Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another matchday vlog video, or not. Thank you to everyone who told me in the comments of my last video that the Newcastle match, it's not on Tuesday, it's tomorrow on Wednesday night. I think I was just far too excited about the fact we were winning 8-0 against Sheffield United, and I got the days mixed up. Maybe I could have done with getting down there tonight. Would have been plenty of time to get me digital tickets sorted, but instead you guys will have to enjoy a episode of Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. And I tell you what, it's been a canny week, and I tell you what, we've got another big week coming up as well, so plenty to get through in this video. Before I do, I want to say a quick shout out to all of my patrons. We're up to 11 patrons now. Thank you to everyone who's supporting the channel, really appreciate it. If you want to help support the channel that little bit further, I'm posting on Patreon just as much as I am on YouTube. It's Newcastle, it's football, it's me, to be honest, bits and bobs wherever I go, loads of behind the scenes stuff. Go and check it out. I really appreciate the support. And if you want to subscribe for free, be sure to do that as well. But let's start off with AC Milan. This time last week we took on AC Milan, our first Champions League game in a very long time. We rode the line a bit. We definitely did that. They had quite a few shots. They were on us quite a lot. But I tell you what, we may have rode our luck at times, but we stood strong and we took home a good point. And you saw some of the other games, like Brighton, Aston Villa were playing there, European games. And we were the team that took a really good away point against a good AC Milan side. It might have been potentially a good thing if we played our first Champions League game at home. I think to go out there, for the first time for a lot of these players playing Champions League ever, playing European football ever, it was always going to be tough. And I thought we gave a wholehearted display. We took that point and we ran, and as I say, PSG next week. So we haven't got much time to rest on that point. Could we see Mbappe at St. James's Park next week? Maybe not. It's being reported that Mbappe is in fact carrying an injury and may miss out on the game. Now, it's been quite funny actually. There's been a bit of back and forward as to whether people want to see Mbappe at St. James's Park or going, nah. Keep him away from us, I think I'd much rather play a PSG side without Mbappe. I think without Neymar, without Mbappe, they're a bit of a different side. So I think there's already quite a bit of confidence going into that game anyway. Under the lights, Champions League night, the new Newcastle shirt with the new printing on the back looks incredible. They actually are saying that that is like a player-owned shirt. If you want to get the Champions League printing, you have to just get it on the back of the normal black and white, which doesn't look as good, to be honest. I would have loved it if they'd released, screw it, just release the Champions League kit. I'll pay another 70 quid. I want the plain white on the back, and I want my name and number to stand out. I think, to be honest, if I was going to get the Champions League right, and I still haven't bought the green kit yet, I think I'd actually be tempted to buy that one instead to get the full effect on the back. But it looked great. We'll see it next week. Cannot wait. But in the words of Eddie Howe, there are still games to be played, and we played a game at the weekend as well. I haven't even talked about that yet. 8-0 against Sheffield United. Wow. First off, 8 goals, 8 different players. Biggest away win for Newcastle in a competitive match. Setting records, playing great football. Didn't have the first, if I want to be really picky, I am. Didn't have the greatest first 10 minutes or so, and I'm thinking, how are we going to get into this? Are they going to make this a really tough night for us? If you're not, and there was a few passes going astray, and I am being extremely picky. I tell you how to get things started. Score from a set piece, score from a corner, score from a free kick. Penalties are great too, but in this case, it was a corner. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was actually a fantastic bit of play by Gordon, and Longstaff who scores the goal. But then a corner, then a free kick. For the size of a Botman playing, his 50th appearance, he's been waiting on that goal for a while. Dan Burn, 8'9", we should be scoring headers for fun in this side, and we don't do it a lot. So I would also take that as a really big positive that if things aren't quite connecting at times, look at that AC Milan game, 10 minutes to go. Can we get a header onto Dan Burn, 7 foot at the back stick? Set pieces can win games, and I would really love to see Newcastle doing better at corners. To be honest, I've probably been saying that for years now. That's not a new thing. That's not a takeover thing. That is just generally, great at corners. Let's try and score some goals from some set pieces, which we did. And then once the floodgates were open, it just all went through, didn't it? You could tell the side coming into the end of the first half, 3-0 up, and then especially in the second, I think Sheffield United down tools in the second half, which definitely helped. But you could see the confidence flowing. Bruno in the middle, give me the ball. I want the ball. Bruno hasn't looked his best. He looked phenomenal in that game. He clearly enjoyed his goal. He celebrated it like he was on top of the world. It was great to see Isak get a goal later on. It was great to see Wilson score a goal. Gordon, how good is Gordon? Brilliant to see him do so well. A lot of people are saying, Bruno's back. He's back at his best. And he was, he signed his new, reportedly, signed his new deal. So hopefully that's off in the background. That's his head settled. I mean, we could go into that a little bit more, to be fair, because obviously there's talk on the fact that Bruno is wanting to have this £100 million release clause in his contract, and potentially that's why in the background things haven't been quite as easy as they seem. Yes, he wants the new deal. Yes, he wants the extension of his contract. Yes, he wants the more money. Newcastle don't want to give him the £100 million release clause. So I'm not surprised things have taken a little bit longer for that to go through. You could put this whatever way you want. Bruno's back at his best. But for how long? Is that the case that Bruno is looking for that Real Madrid dream move in the summer, and is that what we're going to have to just get over, or is that just something that's in the background and we'll never hear of again? We will have to, I think, as soon as the summer comes around, target. There's that 100 million. It's like what we did with Chris Wood, 30 million. Yeah, we've got a decent jump of that back, but at that time when you just want a player, just go in, pick them up and put them in. Well, he's 100 million over there. It's not to say that Bruno will accept that offer. Just because the club do doesn't mean that Bruno does. But obviously it's just putting a bit of a target on his back, really, by putting that on there. And I won't go into it too much because this could be a whole separate video on its own. Maybe I'll do it on Patreon. Go check out my Patreon if you want to see more content from myself on a little bit more in-depth talking conversations over there. As Newcastle, talking about FFP, we pretty much had to sell Maxi to buy players. Sell Bruno for 100 million. That's 500 million we have to spend. And we fall in love with players. I think people are falling in love with Gordon right now for how good he's been playing. Bruno's been a fan favourite for a while. Lots of disappointed fans when St. Max left. But in a world of football, money, competitiveness and winning, quite often you'll see players go to totally rebuild a side. You look at, you can look at a Bale at at Spurs and how that all went wrong, but you can look at a Coutinho at Liverpool, 120 million, pretty much built a side that then went on to win, Champions League and the Premier League, so we will cross that bridge where we'll come with. But for right now, has the Bruno, Tonali midfield problem been sorted? Well, it certainly looked solved when we won 8-0 against Sheffield United. But what's interesting is, which I didn't think would happen, is we didn't play Tonali. Eddie Howe said that Tonali hasn't had much game time, and that's the reason why he hasn't really played, which is totally understood. Mix and match, and I think we'll see more changes coming into the Man City game tomorrow. But I thought he would play Tonali till the cows came home. Just play Tonali, play Bruno Tonali. They will work it out on the pitch. Yes, it hasn't quite been clicking, but we will make it work. Keep playing them. Didn't play him. Longstaff and Anderson come in. Incredible. And I've said this for a little while. At what point, if or will Eddie Howe go, right, screw it. Put Joe Linton back in. put Longstaff back in, put Bruno back in, put Longstaff back on that left. Sorry, put Joe Linton back on that left wing. Bring Willock back, and yes, we've had injuries, and we wouldn't have been really able to do it anyway. And it was more tongue in cheek because I didn't think he would do it. I thought he would stay with Tonali. Eddie Howe's got a real question mark now. And look, I think Tonali is a fantastic player, and we were going to always change the side around. You know, it's not a right. Longstaff and Anderson are great. Tonali, get in the back. You're done. That isn't it, because we will change the team all the time. But it's fair to say that in a side that maybe hasn't been quite connecting, we've suddenly solved the problem, have we? Or will it be back to Tonali? And I think it will be. It's an interesting one. It creates competition in the side. It means that a player like Anderson can stand up and go, look, I've just won 8-0 here. You know, I'm the player who really isn't first choice, but I should be. And it creates a good competitive element, but it'll be interesting in terms of the dynamic of how Eddie Howe was trying to ask certain players to play, because it hasn't just been Tonali, it's been that Bruno hasn't really been flourishing. And now, again, I've said this a few times now, with an Anderson who plays the ball and moves away, with a Longstaff who plays the ball and moves away, Bruno is getting so much more of the ball, and a player like Bruno will grow into games and be confident and wants to be the star of attention a little bit. Whereas when Tonali's on the ball, he doesn't need to give it to Bruno. Tonali can do it himself. So it's just like a bit of a different dynamic there, and it's trying to get them to work it together. So yes, but 8-0. I was a happy man in the weekend, and I'm still happy now as we go into Man City tomorrow night. The downside, really, on obviously mixing, matching, changing and players, is that Eddie Howe has said that Barnes, after picking up that injury, after going off, after Gordon came on and was the best player in the whole side and really won us the game, having said that, we don't want to see Barnes go off injured, and Eddie Howe reckons it could be the start of the new year when Barnes is returning, which is a massive blow. £38 million player who has been taking his time getting in the side. We're talking about Gordon because Gordon was the same. Gordon couldn't get in the side either. Now Harvey Barnes is having that had that same trouble, and now he's injured. And when you're looking at a game like Man City tomorrow night, play Gordon one game, Barnes the next one. You know, it's like Eddie Howe is like kind of rotation of two positions all the time, and we've seen it quite a lot of the front three. Wilson, Isak, maybe even a bit of Isak on the left, but generally up and down. You've kind of seen a bit of Murphy, Miggy, even Gordon on the right as well, and then you've got Barnes on the left, so there's been some good mix and match there. Will be interesting to see what it is tomorrow against Man City. Same with the midfield. Defensively, that's where my biggest question mark is, because I have no doubt the midfield and up front three will change. Is tomorrow's Man City game a chance for Livramento and Hall, both of which came on in those Sheffield United game? Could we see Jamal Lascelles? And then I don't know who would play as the other centre-back. I guess Botman, Shaw or Byrne, because we haven't got enough for another centre-back switch. Unless he... No, it'll be one of the three. So it'll be interesting to see how we do go into this. Let me know your lineups down in the comments below. Let me know your predictions for the Man City game down in the comments below. Pep Guardiola has said that he will be making changes to his side. I don't think Eddie Howe is one to make wholesale changes, but I think he has to make changes. We then play Burnley on Saturday, which I won't go into too much depth because I will be back throughout the week for more videos, including the full preview for Burnley and a matchday vlog. I'll be doing the Man City vlog. I think my days are just totally off at the minute. It's Wednesday tomorrow. I'm Rob. I'm Rubenstein. I will be at the game tomorrow for the Man City vlog. I will be at Burnley game on Saturday as well, and then I'll be back next week for PSG Champions League game, and they'll be all vlogged. I'll be at all of them, full videos, reviews, previews, match day chat, behind the scenes on Patreon. It's all coming, so subscribe, do not miss out. Predictions for the Man City game down below. Why can't we win it? You know, I think if we beat Man City in the Cup tomorrow, we pretty much jump to one of the favourites for the tournament, to be honest, because that's how good Man City are right now. And we've shown last season our trip to Wembley. I'd love to see another one. I think a lot of people aren't talking about the game tomorrow, really, because it's been AC Milan, it's been an 8-0 win, it's PSG next week. You know, there's so much going on right now. The cup has kind of just fell out of people's brains. But it's at home, it's under the lights, it's going to be a full crowd. I think we will make changes, but I think we've got it in us. So, and it was a tough game against Man City at the start of the season, don't get me wrong. And I think regardless of their rotation, they're always going to be good. But I'm hopeful we can try and grab something. So let me know your thoughts on the midfield dynamic, on how that's changing right now. If you think that Eddie Howe will totally mix it up tomorrow, will we see Tonali back in the lineup tomorrow? Can we see Hall and Livramento maybe get their first full games for the club? And predictions for Man City. Go on, I'll give a prediction as well. I'll go. You know, it's one of them. It could go to pens as well. It wouldn't surprise. I was going to say maybe. I won't go. I'll go 2-1 Newcastle. I think they'll could well get a goal. They're a good side. Honestly, it's going to be a Wednesday night 0-0 pens, and then hopefully we'll win. And don't go home after losing it. But yeah, we will see what happens. As I say, loads of content to come. Do not miss out. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. And I'll catch you later.